Shall we, dear brothers, always be asked how to perform a spiritual purification? Because there are many people who say, I want to know the truth. But to know the truth, the first step before knowing everything is spiritual purification. Indeed, all the prophets in the Holy Quran say that the first thing the prophets did was purification. They purified the works of the people, of their companions, so that they would be able to receive the truth. As long as a person has the works done, we can say it is the impurity of the devil. As for example, the sacred Quran states that drinking alcohol is an impurity of the devil. So in the meantime, a person who is consuming this alcohol, that alcohol prevents them from approaching the truth, from approaching God. Do you understand? So on this spiritual path, the first thing to do is to abandon sins. The main capital sins that must be abandoned, as we have always said. But we will say again, first is alcohol, which is the impurity of the devil. It will darken your mind and intellect. So, during that time you want to know the truth. Abandon alcohol, inshallah, for the rest of your life as well. Leave alcohol behind. Never consume alcohol again. Beer, just give it up. What else? What hardens your heart is blood. The consumption of blood is absolutely prohibited. In the 7 commandments of Noah, in the 10 commandments of Moses, and in Islamic laws. Jesus never consumed blood. The apostles of Jesus never consumed blood. On the contrary, in the devilish practices and rituals to comfort the devil, they consume blood. Why? Because a person who consumes blood will have a hardened heart for 40 days. And this prevents them from knowing the truth, let alone recognizing the truth. Perhaps even though you know the truth, you do not have the power that will to recognize the truth. So the second thing is to abandon blood in your food. Abandon the blood. Where is the blood? In the meat that you consume, because the meats sold in the market are from animals that have not been sacrificed according to Islamic ritual. Thus, blood is retained within the meat. So all that meat is devilish, inspiring the power of the devil and hardening your heart, preventing you from knowing the truth. In other words, it is a spiritual obstacle. So leave that meat from the market. Less pork. The pig is quite dirty and will impurify you. Every pig is worse than everything. Yes. So the meat, the blood, the good pork. If at some point you find meat sacrificed by Muslims, which is halal, that's fine. There is no problem. But more than that, no. What else? There is another sin that you also know, which is the sin of the flesh. The sin of the flesh consists of 3 members: anger in the ear, in the genitals. Abandon the sin of the flesh in all 3. What does this mean? Lust comes from the gaze and also from listening. From listening, the result will be fornication and adultery, which will dirty your spiritual life. And from that, from fornication, humanity has arrived at abortion, which is the murder of its own child. It is horrible. So, on that spiritual path of your purification, in order to prepare yourself to know the truth, what you need is to abandon that sin of the flesh. So that sin is a set of actions: dance, music, lewd gazes, listening to erotic things, talking about these matters, and along with these practices, all of that must be abandoned. That which is going to dance, groping the girls, I don't know, a pool where the girls are often around. Any place where you go, I can say, expose yourself to the sin of the flesh and stay away. Stay away from all that. What else? There is a mortal sin that closes all the doors of heaven, which is called mistreatment of parents. This has been prohibited in all sacred books and by the devil. It means that this work is so wicked that it will dirty all. The spiritual doors, it will close all the doors. So be benevolent to your parents, very benevolent, very generous, very kind, very submissive. Whatever you can do to be benevolent to your parents, do it. Do all of that, for the joy you bring to the hearts of your parents is the key to spiritual life. Bring joy into the hearts of the parents. You are introducing the key to open the doors of heaven. That is, the joy you bring to the heart of your dad, your mom, your grandma, and your grandpa as well. After that comes the aunt, the uncles, relatives, siblings, nephews, children, mostly family, your children, your wife, close relatives. First the parents, then close relatives. When you treat them with much love, affection, and service in a way that you can bring joy to their hearts, that is the key, dear brother, to bringing joy to their hearts. More than all the children, the more innocent the better, more than all the believers in your family, with some gift, with kindness, with some service, with whatever it may be. When they are very, very happy, God will abundantly bless you. One of the great blessings is that it will open the door to wisdom, which you seek to know the truth. Do you have doubts now? You will no longer have doubt. God will show you everything with certainty. Doubt comes from sin. What else? Let's continue. Look, dear brother, you need the light of God. Connect with the light of God. What does that mean? Speak to God in intimacy for a while, preferably in the morning, before the sun rises. We call it the return of the morning. At noon, in the afternoon, at sunset, and before sleeping. 5 occasions. Speak to God. You are not a Muslim, no problem. Do it with your heart. Speak to God. Speak to God. Praise God in your heart in whatever way you want, in the way that you love. If you have learned the Islamic rest, great. If not, do it in whatever way you can. Speak to God sincerely. Speak to God. Ask Him to guide you. And commit to God that if you know the truth, you will not reject it knowingly, and you will not reject it due to difficulties on the path of truth. What else? And now, begin the study. Everything we have said was an introduction, and now, it begins with whether you have purified your intention and your work. And now the study begins. Where do you suppose there is truth? In the Bible? Start reading the Bible. In the sacred Quran, do a parallel study. Start from 0 in the Bible and 0 in the Quran in another book. Go ahead, there is no problem. Seek the truth, for God says that whoever fulfills what they know, God will teach them what they need to know. God has committed it to you. It is a truthful promise from God. Whoever fulfills what they know, God will teach them what they need for their path. They need to know the truth. God is responsible for teaching you, but on the condition that you purify your actions with good intentions and begin to do so. Do not oppress others for oppressing others, especially the poor and the defenseless, closes the doors of heaven. It means you will no longer receive mercy from the Lord. Be very careful with that. Do not oppress animals. Do not oppress if there is a dog. Do not hit it. Do not mistreat animals. Try as much as possible not to kill. Do not take the life of even an ant. I am speaking of a very mystical concept with you. The mystics did not take the life of animals, not even an ant or a fly. Do your best not to kill animals. No animal. Then you will definitely see this total spiritual change. I promise you that. And many who did so found it with the certainty that they had found the truth. And you are no exception, as God has given you an inner prophet called the intellect. Consciousness is just a matter of purifying your work. And from that, you will see that everything will change. So get to work. Purify yourself and find the truth. May God bless you. Do not doubt that all the prophets of God began that path, and whoever seeks the truth risks finding all the truth they seek. The question is to seek and find. May God bless you. A strong hug. May the peace and blessing of God be with you.